Hebeler Accountancy is a tax and accounting firm serving businesses and individuals. If you're looking for a competent CPA who offers professional services in tax return preparation, accounting reports, or business management, contact Carl Hebeler, CPA.
So now we're going to explain how these tax agencies, these 6 different types, may or may not impact the various business types. As I mentioned, a sole proprietor, you're not incorporated, you're not registered with the state, so there really is no action here with the Secretary of State. I'm going to put a check mark for the IRS and the Franchise Tax Board, but this would be for the individual person's tax return on Schedule C. Often people who work for themselves don't have other employees. You may or may not, but for the most part, EDD is not a main concern. If you have a business that sells products and you have to charge sales tax, that would impact you no matter if you're a sole proprietor or not. But if it's a service business, consulting, this would not be a concern. If you're operating a business in the city, you still have to get a license and file a city tax return if you're incorporated or sole proprietor. For trusts, this is primarily a holding entity for the designated beneficiaries by the founder or the settlor of the trust. The primary tax filings is for the IRS and the Franchise Tax Board, and this would be Form 1041. And normally a trust does not have employees, isn't selling goods, and isn't operating a business. However, in a partnership, you're going to have to register with the Secretary of State. It does file a tax return. We call these Form 1065. Partnership may have employees, it may not, but if it does have employees, you're still going to have to file the EDD. And again, a lot of partnerships could be selling goods to the public, so depending on the type of business, you may have to register for sales tax, and also they do need to register with the city. So this is going to apply to whether it's a limited liability company or a limited partnership. Depends on whether they have employees, depends on whether they have sales tax, but definitely register with the city. Corporations are affected by most of these tax entities in the same way. You first have to register, whether you're an S Corp or a C Corp or a nonprofit, you do have to file an organizational document called the Articles of Incorporation with the Secretary of State. The IRS, we're going to be filing Form 1120S or 1120 or Form 990 or 1120H if it's a homeowner's. So the IRS does expect tax returns for any corporation type, as well as the Franchise Tax Board as well. Corporations normally do have employees. Officers are required to compensate themselves as an employee. So we're going to put a check mark for the EDD in California. Nonprofits may or may not have employees. Corporations, again, may have sales tax requirements if they're selling goods or products. So we'll put a check mark with a little dash, maybe they will. Nonprofits still have to file sales tax returns if they're selling products to the public. And lastly, the city license. Again, just like any other business entity, they do have to register with the city. Nonprofits are normally exempt from that, so we have to file a city license application and report annually for corporation types. These are the business types we've gone through and explained which tax agencies would have to be reported to for each type of business. In Hebeler Accountancy, we can prepare tax returns for all 6 of these agencies and others and determine whether you are required to file a tax return quarterly or annually, and also help you determine what the best type of tax entity is applicable to your business. We do formations, we can do the tax returns, and also help you in the management in any type of these business entities.
Located in Los Angeles, call Hebeler Accountancy at 310-312-8700 or go to their website at cbhcpa.com.